Aftermath, session one. So here we are. Once again, it's been a little bit of time since we've ran a game in this slot. We took a break. We concluded the Shattered Lands game, so if you're interested, check that out on YouTube. I've got mostly the same cast. We're adding in another player, which we'll get to shortly here. But is this supposed to? But today we're going to start a new one. We're going to use D&D 5e, the 2024 rules, but also the players are open to use like the older rules for things depending on however the character built out. I haven't fully delved into which is which. I think most people are using the new rules and or playtest rules, as I know one of our players will be using the Artificer rules. Yeah, so with that, let us start. We have a scene where we're coming down. The cameras are coming down. The watchers are seeing us go along this road, a well-paved road, and then it turns. There's a mud, like hardened section where there's ruts from wagons carrying heavy loads. Above this road here, there's an old sign that has been cracked and worn with years of sun. You have a Badlands sort of like cracked earth, Midwest kind of arrangement as far as the terrain goes. Here there's rocks and cacti, short scrubs, and in the distance we see a plateau that this road heads towards. The sign above this road, broken up, is says Guajun, Guajun, with lots of space on either side and in between, as some words have probably fallen off that sign, but that is as the town is known. We come closer to this town and we can see smoke rising. In the distance, the town is still far off from the main road, but you can see the rising of smoke and the silhouettes of buildings in the distance. The sun is beginning to rise, and the red kind of sky due to the smoke and simmering fire still visible. But as we come into the town, we see a small like blacksmith shop set up, or what's left of it. You see the tree of this kind of central area of the town, obviously like a prized possession, as it's not easy to keep it growing well, but the tree itself is there. It has hanging from it many of the civilians, the citizens that were here that put up some sort of struggle. There's signs of battle and dead bodies still lying in places. Og, as you wake up, tell us about your character. Tell us how you find yourself, and perhaps how you survived this attack of a horde of goblins.
Buried under the rubble of the blacksmith shop, as the wood framed roof basically collapsed in on itself. I happened to have been in a certain area of the blacksmith shop as I was watching my father pull out another creation of sorts, and mother, gathering supplies and whatnot. It was sudden, it was quick, it was confusing. As next thing you know, we normally smell fire, as not we are the blacksmith. I mean, we have a furnace burning and stuff, and it's didn't dawn on us until the bells rang. And when the church bell rang, it was like too late. The ceiling collapsed. I don't know what happened. I don't know where my family's at. As I stand up out of the rubble, being 8'5", roughly almost 400 pounds, I'm a Goliath, and I have fire giant lineage, so the fire is in me. The drive to you know, look out and decide on who's who. And I feel this rage rising up in me as like I could do nothing I could have done. And I just pushed the boulders and the smoldering, wood chunks and this, that, and the other side, and call out for my family. Olaf, Olga, where are you at? Looking around in the rubble, trying to figure out what happened, and stepping outside and seeing the disaster, this horrible, catastrophic event, as if reliving childhood all over again. We came from a place, my family and I, of giants and monsters. And when I was extremely little, I vaguely remember the horror that happened back then. Herds of wild beasts running through our camp. I mean, our camp, our settlement wasn't like it is here in this place. Ours was hide tents and straw huts and stuff, and it just plowed right through as these creatures hunted them, and for the most part hunted us. That's why we came here. That's why we settled here. That's why we tried to make a better living, and now it's all happening all over again. I look around and see if I can see anybody else.
As you emerge, you see the destruction of this town. You see the dead bodies, the several bodies hanging from the central tree, having been strung up and made an example of. And at the moment, you don't see anyone. However, elsewhere in the town, there's emerging another being, another person who was able to survive the aftermath. Rami, why don't you tell us about your character and how they survived?
Sure. Romy wakes up, looking up at blue sky with a wisp of white cloud. The shadow of a very thin 2-story, 3-room house taking up one little section of a view. And she breathes deeply and finds that hard. And she looks, and she's looking through broken wood as she looks up at the remains of the roof of her little pagoda she had in her yard. And she looks up at the window, which is broken outwards, and she remembers being at the foot of the stairs when the creature came in and threatened her. And she ran up the stairs because that's what you do when you're being chased by an assailant. You don't run out the back door, you run up the stairs. And as she got to her room and she realized she was at a dead end, the creature came at her and she remembered something convulsing out of her hand, and the creature being pushed back, and her looking at her hand kind of stupidly in surprise, and she fell backwards through the window, through the pagoda, landing onto her prized patch of cacti. She is lying there. She looks to her left and she sees a little thistle and she goes, "That's pretty. I'm in so much pain." I have so many needles in my butt. She slowly gets up to her feet, and the area is good for her in that there isn't tall grass, otherwise she wouldn't be able to see anything. Her gnomish stature being such that being out in the scrubland, if there's a rock in the way, it's going to be big enough for everybody to not see you. So that's good. And she dusts herself off. And as she does, her clothing, if anyone were to watch, would become whole, would become clean as she wipes her hands over it, but she herself doesn't really register that at all. She winces as she feels all of the cacti sticking in her from behind. She has become a gnomish pincushion. And she grimaces and goes, well, at least everything is finished now. It can only get better. She's going to walk around the side of the building. And as she does walk around and she sees the devastation of the entire settlement, she goes, maybe not. Hello? She calls out, which any sensible person would know is a terrible thing to do in a situation like this. But she's not sensible. Hello? Is anybody there? It's me. Romy. Romy Polite Light. Hello? And she then murmurs to herself, I wonder if everyone else fell out of their windows too. And she'll start to wander looking for people.
All right. As you head into town, let's look elsewhere in town. We come across a tower, a wizard's tower at one point. However, it's definitely not survived the attack fully. Much of the structure is fine. However, a bit of the roof is collapsed in as it blazed up. The wooden timbers no longer supporting its roof. A lot of the interior has been destroyed, but somewhere within we see a small creature stirring from their hiding spot. Sunru, why don't you tell us about your character and how you survived?
Sure. I'm Sunru. I'm a little, I'd say, a kangaroo with intelligence. I dark brown skin, canine shaped face, hooded clothing, but only stature at about 4 foot. Tiny little thing. Start with him waking, emerging from behind some rubble inside the wizard's cave after hearing the explosions and the screams from outside. Sunru, known as Sunny to his friends, as a kind of ashamed to himself, they hid away, hoping that his master would turn up to save the day. No master turned up this time. He doesn't know really what to do now, and as he ventures out of the tower towards the sea, he sees fire. He sees the quaint tower which had a single bell in town is no longer there. It's gone. Rubble where it once stood. He hops along the grounds, trying to get to the wall, if anything, just to get a better view, see if he can see anybody. Nobody here. reaches to the side of the gardens and looks around, hoping to see any familiar faces. He sees nothing.
As you kind of start searching around the grounds somewhere nearby, another being stirs to awakeness. Braids, why don't you tell us a bit about your character and how you survived?
Braids is kneeling in the like remains of the charred garden. Their mechanical warforged hands just cradling these like succulents and different vegetables that they'd been growing that are just destroyed now. They've either been trod underfoot by the rampaging people or burned in the fires, and they freeze as like they've just been staring at these dead dead vegetation for what feels like eternity to them, as they stand up and they realize that what has been their purpose is just gone. They look around and they have these long, like almost like braid looking hairs that are cords that hang down off their head that are have little metal beads at the end that kind of tinkle against each other as they look around and they try and take in what else past the garden that has been their whole world, kind of what the state of it all is.
I would think that Braids and Sunru at some point, seeing as you're situated on the same ground, to run into each other first out of our group of survivors.
Definitely. Well, wandering around the garden, I guess I sort of unintentionally sneak up on Braids having this moment. Seeing the garden and seeing him. Braids! Are you functioning? Braids!
Yes.
See if...
Braid's head like turns quickly and like it's almost that like mechanical like snap to you, where they like didn't expect anyone else to be there, and they look you over and you can tell that they're like assessing damage almost, right? It's very like they're studying you very quietly for a moment before they nod. I am well. Am I? And if a Warforged could sigh, there's that like pause, right? And they look at you and just are you okay?
I'm scared. Master is not here. I see over in the village and it's the same there.
It can't be everyone.
And then it just clicks and I'm just like, Romy, I want to check, but is it safe?
Is anything safe now?
Will you?
Yes.
Thank you. And I guess I'll start hopping my way towards town.
Yeah, follow along slowly.
All right. As you guys venture towards town, you see there near this great tree, kind of still getting its bearings, you'll see Og standing there. And probably around the same time, you see coming from the other direction of town, the figure of Romy kind of walking through this kind of ruined street, this dirt street that's been encrusted with horse hoof prints and wagon wheels and the town survives. They do okay. They had done okay, but not enough to like pave the streets or to have someone come in. Like every now and then after major rains or something, they'll try to run some boards through the mud to try to get rid of some of the worst of the wagon wheel marks, but it's still not the smoothest of passages. Most people would take to the various walkways that were underneath the awnings of these buildings, but now them being destroyed, it's kind of forced to walk through this dirty, dusty street. And kind of coming into view, you're all slowly coming about to the same spot, this central area underneath this great tree that once held festivities and gatherings and elections and things like that to establish the town's, plan of actions or hierarchies, or just celebrate someone's birthday or anything like that. Now, with bodies hanging upon it, the mayor strung up and dangling there.
I cover my eyes as I hold on to Braid, walk behind him.
You guys all come together.
Braids. Sunny.
It's just a relief of a smile of a friendly face like this. Somebody else I know, people I know.
Runs awkwardly through the churned mud to get to them. And she gives them a big hug, sweeping them in her arms as best as she can, even though all three of them, I think, maybe are near the same sizes. Maybe Braids is much bigger, if anything.
Yeah.
It's nice when she goes, "Good. All right, you're safe. That's fine. I can't find anybody else. I don't know where they are."
My parents were gone.
Are they missing or are they gone? And Braids will kind of like pointedly look up at the tree and search to see who's there.
No, I have not seen them up. Dead, buried, destroyed.
They're
They're
up there.
missing. They've been taken. Others might have been taken as well.
That can't be everybody.
Do we know who did this? I didn't see anything. I just heard the screams and
We were working.
made sure
and,
the tower was safe.
the church bell went off, but it was too late. The building collapsed in on ourselves. I pulled myself out of my rubble.
There are many
Yes.
dead bodies hanging from the tree.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess, can we do a scan? Is there any opposition dead bodies, or was it a clean sweep? Are there any arrows, weapons, or anything that we can see?
Definitely, you can make a perception check if you like to see how much you see.
First roll.
Remy
14.
just falls to the ground, and she's just catatonic at the sight of all these dead bodies.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid the bodies per se and look everywhere else. Roll a 14 on perception.
Okay. Looking around, you do see there's a few like goblin bodies that have been left there in the streets. There is perhaps like a hobgoblin as well, like laying dead. But it looks like the weapons, for the most part, were picked up. There's a few random arrows from... mainly you see like the kind of dirty fletching that like would not be indicative of the town's work. So obviously from like the goblin tribes that came through here. But yeah, so there are a few like goblin bodies there. There are a few of their arrows here and there, but it seems like anything else, like any of the weapons themselves, seem to be stripped off the bodies. Any of the weapons from your town have been kind of taken up, with the exception of whatever you guys kind of have, or like if you wanted to have found your weapon somewhere in the rubble, that's fine with me too. But essentially, they've stripped the town of most, if not all, of the possible valuable objects.
I look down at the hobgoblin. What is he wearing?
So he's got kind of like rough armor, tattered kind of clothes, a kind of like a long coat, perhaps like almost like a duster style of a coat to try to keep some of the sun and dirt off of him. His reddish skin, his eyes look up palely. There seems to be on the outside of his coat this like rough image. It's kind of like a obviously of goblin or orcish make sort of a thing, that's got like a image of like a sun that's been cracked with like a little like very rough making of like a cactus on it.
During my family's travels to here, would I recognize that symbol?
You can give me a history check if you want.
Okay. Ooh, shit. Rolled a 19. 23.
Okay. You probably haven't had a lot of interaction with them, but you've come across perhaps, and maybe even like in the local like wanted posters or whatever, that there's like a tribe of goblins, the scorched cactus is all you guys have called it. You don't know what they call it, but like that's kind of
bad men.
That's kind of the term of them, and they're just kind of like a roaming group of goblins and hobgoblins and like the kind of monstrous races that have kind of gathered together, and they kind of go around the Badlands area, usually attacking like small caravans or attacking individual settlements. And so not necessarily known for like they have a huge army and they're going to be attacking towns, but they'll prey on the weak. And it, as far as you knew, was like a smaller group of, maybe 15 to 20 individuals. However, you kind of sense that this attack would have been larger.
I flip over the body to show that symbol to the rest of everybody. And I point down at it. Cactus Men. They're a gang. They were on wanted posters. Remember from way back. They've been around a long time. They supposedly pick on the weak and innocent, but I didn't think our village was that weak and innocent.
That's because Master wasn't here. If Master was here, it would have been different. I don't know when Master will be back.
So were they watching Master the Wizard?
I don't know. Maybe. Or just lucky. Master travels a lot.
How he found us long time ago. We need to do something. I need to find my family. There's got to be others still alive.
We don't even know which way they went.
We can figure that out. A group this large has tracks. They're not
You
careful.
can't leave me behind. I'll be here alone by myself.
Come with us, Rami.
And in sign language, I'm like, yes, come with us. Please.
I'm just an old woman. I would be of no use to you out there. I can't stay here by myself, though. If you're going to go, then I guess I'll come with you. Can I ask a big favor first, though? Can someone remove these cacti out of my backside, please? And I turn around and I show my butt.
I will then proceed to, as gently as I can, start picking out the cacti. Needles.
Kangaroo paws, known for handling cacti.
Braid's like moves to go help and then realizes that their like big mechanical fingers probably wouldn't be very good at this particular set of skills.
Yeah, fair enough.
I can go gather supplies as much as we need for this trip.
Oh, I'll go check for food. I'll go check the stores. I need to do something at the. Is there like a not a housing association, but like some kind of savings and loan that would have been in town, or a guy who deals with payments and then you pay him back? Is there a guy like that in town?
Yeah, for the most part, that was like the mayor's kind of purview. The mayor would gather up like a lot of the tax money and stuff that was gathered from the town, and mainly from the sale and purchase of goods in town, like the trading with outside areas. He would gather a portion of, like, almost as like a tariff or a fee. He would get a certain amount, and they would store that in like the mayor's house, which is kind of nearby, or was nearby. Now kind of stands mostly burnt down, just rubble kind of filling it. But he would have been the one, like, if you needed to borrow money, you'd go to plea to him for it, and he would decide whether your cause was worthy enough for the town funds to be distributed for that sort of thing.
Okay, then I'll say I'm going to go to the general store, and I will either before or after quickly pop over to his house.
Okay.
Yeah, just need to get a little something first of all.
Okay. I'm going to say, like, as far as the general stores and searching for goods, you're able to gather up the resources that essentially come with your character. You're able to gather up the resources that you wouldn't have had on you that you would otherwise be entitled to as a level 1 character. If we're looking for something in particular...
4 loads of 50-foot hempen rope. Who would have thought?
Right? It's strange how that works.
4 2-man tents? This is uncanny.
A bunch
What
of
is
torches.
happening here? What?
All right.
Oil?
I can make all that stuff.
I can make all that stuff. You badass.
Yeah, it's true, especially with some of the new crafting and all that.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for outside of said starting equipment?
Fine. Would be nice. I feel it's any laudanum would be good. It's been a rough day.
I didn't realize Romy was an addict.
She's not an addict. She's just aware. Sometimes you just gotta go away to a better place for a little while. Just a little while. She's fine. She can stop anytime she wants. So yeah.
Any telltale signs of like where they went off to?
You can
Which
give me-
direction?
Give me a survival check if you like.
Yeah.
Who wants to start searching?
I was gonna say I go back and grab like the very few things that Braids has they gather them quickly and then just start trying to figure out where everything went. Right?
Maybe I could help Braids if Braids has got a better survival than I do.
My survival's pretty good. I got a +6.
Yeah, yep, I got a 0. So
you can
Pretty
give
good. Level 1 +6. No big deal.
we'll give you can give Braids advantage on this sort of thing because you're able to help. Look, I'm going to limit some of the helping actions in this game so that, like, generally you need to have a skill in said thing or some sort of proficiency. If it's something like this, that it is like you're just helping someone look for something and it would be obvious that you could at least help somehow, that's cool. So you're not able to find any like alcohol or any anesthetics or anything like that within town. It has been picked over of anything that you think would have been of value. In fact, like, there are some of the carts you would have noticed have been taken and hauled away with some of the beasts of burden that the town uses, that you'll kind of notice as you're kind of searching through town and such. So they probably came with their own carts, and then they just said, oh, here's some more. I'm going to take those as well. There's no livestock that have been left living. There are a few, like, cattle and sheep that have been slaughtered and left there. But even looking at them, like the smallish herds that you guys had from the town, most of the animals are unaccounted for, but are not there. How do we do on our...
I got an 18, so it's a 24 total.
Okay. Yeah. With a 24, you can clearly see that there's a path that these creatures took to leave the town. And it seems like they probably came in generally from the same direction, with small groups splitting off and kind of encircling the town before the attack. Then everyone kind of left in mass. There are cart tracks, there are livestock tracks, so it looks like there is a large band that left this area. You probably think at least 50 individuals, although with all the livestock and things like that, it's tough to tell the exact numbers, but you're pretty good at this stuff. And they're kind of heading north and east, and it seems like they're kind of sticking near the edge of the plateau that your kind of town is situated around, this kind of monolith that has grown up out of the middle of the desert, and strewn with some of the mines and such that your town is specialized in gathering resources from. And yeah, they seem to be heading out that way. It's kind of away from the King's Road, which is to the south.
Basically, after Braids realizes what direction everybody's going, and it's very obvious that it's all kind of funneling towards one position, they'll just go stand kind of in the center of the town, back where we first met, and just wait for everybody to kind of come back from their individual errands.
All right. Romy, is there anything that you said you wanted to go to the mayor's area, so was there something in particular you wanted to try to discover or roll to discover?
Deeds of property for her house and the lending note that she had given to get rent on that property.
Okay.
She's thinking to herself, she's not smart, but she's aware of opportunity. So she's going to do that.
Okay. You can go ahead and roll.
She's not smart enough to go, this house has clearly been destroyed and is on fire. These things are made of paper. They will definitely be gone. So I will roll my investigation, which, for the record, is a -1. Here we go. That's a nat 20.
Holy hell. Holy hell. All right. So you search through this area. There is ashes and bits of paper everywhere, but you do manage to find, with a nat 20, amongst the rubble, a sheet of paper that is singed and mostly gone, but you can tell like that probably half of it that's still left over is the deed to your property. You don't seem to find the loan papers, but it seems like almost all the papers have burnt up. There's a few other like bits of paper here and there that are scattered that's probably still legible, but the ones that you see are mostly like accounts of the various trade caravans that have come through and how much was made off of them, what they brought out, what they brought in, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't understand any of that at all. There's literally making my eyes turning cross-eyed just staring at it for even a second. No, I'm out of that. Any coinage?
You don't seem to see any coinage. There seems to be a space that would have held like an iron banded like chest that would have been there, but it seems like that has been taken away. There's definitely the clear spot where it would have been, that you remember seeing it when you've come in to do your paperwork or to pay your loan payments on it, but it's gone.
Okay. And I very quickly, and by very quickly, I mean over a 10-minute period of searching, do a ritual casting of Identify in the area. And I would like to think that helped me find the piece of paper, which is part of that nat 20.
Okay, sure.
But did anything else pop up?
No. Does not seem, there's no like magical items that you can spot. Nothing beyond, the cursory stuff you've kind of come up with.
You mean the proof that I own my property?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Cursory. I own land.
Yes.
And there's no evidence that I owe money. I've won this contract. This contract is mine. 1-0 to Romy. Things are looking up for good old Rose. She smiles and she puts a piece of paper away, and she puts her hair up in a ponytail, and she goes and joins everyone in the center of town.
All right.
And then just before she sees them, she goes, "Oh, the food!" And she runs back and she gets all the stuff in the stores, and then she goes back afterwards.
Yeah. A lot of like the major items have been taken, but you find enough, basically like hardtack and traveling rations that you're able to gather up. Oh, let's say about 40 days worth of travel rations, huh?
Wow, I can eat for 40 days. What are the others going to do?
Oddly specific numbers. Well, one of them probably doesn't need it, but you guys
kangaroo understood.
gather back together here in the center of the town with the various items that you went to fetch and the various information you went to gather. Unless there was anything else either Sunru or Og wants. It's so loud with the crackling of various buildings. Sunru's tiny voice is hard to hear.
As soon as you start talking, I was like, "Oh, I'm muted." Then I guess the other guys would return to Sunny attempting to get the bodies down from the tree. A combination of mage hand and if they're tied up, cutting the rope, or just trying to get them down, just so they can at least lay on the ground in somewhat peace, if that makes any sense, than leaving them up in the tree.
Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah, so you're there and they kind of see you still working at it. You've probably gotten like 3 or 4 of the bodies down, laid out, kind of situated in somewhat of a respectful pose to honor those that have passed. there's probably about 6 more up there by the time everyone kind of comes and they see you, mage handing up to try to like untie this knot or whatever that was tied up there. Yeah.
Do you need help, Sunru?
As I strain with my mage hand. Please, yes, and you'll see me not attempt to try and slowly drop the rope, expecting you to catch the one above you.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, also I can. I'm 8'5", so a lot of. I'll catch the bodies. But if
You say
there's-
8'5", and I look at my feet and I look at you.
and I guess
That
you know
works, man.
whatever Sunru can't reach or have difficulty getting, I'll reach up there and cut the rope.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, together, you guys eventually managed to get all the bodies down out of the tree, laying them out in positions there, like around the base. When everyone else kind of joins you two as you're finishing up the last.
Do we want to bury them?
Yes, but and then I look and I pan around to the whole town. I'm like, it might not be a quick job.
Maybe we should go find who's surviving first.
Let's just set a fire. I don't really want to leave these bodies for the carrion.
We could.
You want to burn them? Then
Is there anything left we could build a pyre with, Bill, or is it mostly all just destroyed?
I would say that there's probably, I'm fine with you finding enough lumber. There's probably an area where there was unused lumber that was either for people to build things with or to make fires at night with, that is, the goblins didn't care about. They didn't need to carry half a ton worth of wood with them. So you're able to find enough of that to set up a makeshift pyre and get the bodies all lined on there.
I think with that, I speak a few words, do some hand gestures as if I'm, crafting something, and suddenly you see a firebolt explode from my hand and light the timber ablaze.
Ah, that's why the smithy always had a fire going.
My father is a fire giant lineage.
Oh, okay.
And as the fire kind of catches and starts to grow, beginning to consume the bodies of those you've kind of gathered up, you realize that there are still quite a bit of the villagers that are unaccounted for. So while there are too many bodies for most people's liking, they certainly are not all the bodies that should have kind of been here, were the entire village killed. So there's a bit of hope, perhaps, that springs forth in you as it starts to burn. While you guys look upon this fire, what is your next thoughts or desires of action?
Braids found something.
I know where they went.
Okay.
So we're going to spend the night here, sleep about it, wake up in the morning, think about whether or not we really want to go, maybe stay instead.
Or,
do you
or
think?
we could go now.
Right. Right.
Any
Sure.
any lingering, these criminals, these gangs could do harm to my mother and father and whoever else was left. I don't want them to end up in a point to the fire.
Sure. No. Okay. Then. Yes. Let's head off into the night, outside by ourselves.
We're not by ourselves. We're in a group.
Yes. I'll stick close to you. And to you. I look at Sunny after, so I go, and to you.
You just get a teethy grin back.
She smiles at that. Okay, cool. This could work.
One thing I'll do before we head out, now I know the bodies have been sorted, is I'll very quickly hop back to the tower to leave a note for Master, just to say we are alive. And while I'm there, I'll notice that he's got one of his spell books left on the side, partially, nearly blank, but he'll probably need it. So I'll pack that up as I go, and head back to the group, leaving a note just to say we are alive.
Nice. Yeah. Having done that, you gather back up with the group and start traveling out of town, heading kind of northeast, skirting this large plateau that was the source of your town's prosperity, the reason for it actually being there. And from it, small traces of iron and things like that have been mined over time, but the main thing that you guys would know that has been dragged out of there is the source of guano. The reason that was there, one of the main caves there with a plethora of bats, allowing a steady supply of this material that has been used across the various lands for various alchemical productions or wizard components. And you guys kind of pass this mine as you head out of town, heading into the Badlands, this cracked, kind of dry, dusty lands, bits of small grass and shrub here and there. See the cactus kind of clinging to the edges of the plateau, where they would gather what little water would run down or would seep up against the harder rock of the plateau surface area, and slowly head out. Is there anything in particular each of you are doing as you kind of traverse this land, heading into the more wild section in pursuit of this vast kind of horde of invading creatures?
I feel like you've got a bouncing kangaroo and you've got two big dudes, and I feel like the small gnome is gonna start maybe the first half mile pretty much at a dead sprint, trying to keep up with their leg movements, and then at some point we'll like pull on either braids or on Og's apron and be like, "Can I get a ride, please?"
Yeah, Rami. You can ride on my backpack.
I just clamber on up and I just like sit up on the bedroll of the backpack, and I sit cross-legged and I just like go, "Thank you," and I just tap the top of your head like, "Drive on."
That gives me an idea. I can make you a harness.
Huh. That would be most agreeable. A lady shouldn't ride this way. Side saddle would be preferred.
I will come up with something when we take a break.
I'm kidding, Log. I'm going to ride proper saddle. I wouldn't even know what would happen if I did some side saddle. I'd probably fall off.
It will be comfortable, no matter how. I'll figure it out.
Amazing. And she enjoys being 10 foot high in the air.
Every so often I just jump to that height to see if you're okay.
Which gives Rami advantage on her perception, right?
I'll be
what time of day is this? We got sunlight still.
Yeah. So as you were kind of coming out of everything. It was like the morning time. They attacked sometime during the night, and you were either hiding or knocked out basically until kind of the first cracks of sunlight came out and alerted you guys that, you know, perhaps it would not be in any more danger now the sun's come out. They must have moved on, sort of a thing.
I don't have to think about daylight then. We can still see.
Yeah, for the moment, yeah. It's still, I mean, I'd say that building the pyre and searching the town, you're probably closer to like, probably early afternoon. Like maybe it's like, 1 in the afternoon. It took a bit of time to gather everything together to reorientate yourselves, but and the pyre took quite a while to kind of set up and prep for the number of bodies that were needed to be taken care of. But yeah, so still height of the day. It is hot. It is warm where you guys live. It always is. So you're you're used to it, but you do know that like being out here for long periods of time without finding fresh sources of water will eventually be an issue. The food situation could be, without rations may come into play at some point, but for now, you were able to find enough water for at least the first couple of days, and then enough rations, and you guys are just moving on. Is there activities you're wishing to do, or are we just like all kind of almost at a trot, like probably not a sprint because you can't maintain that for hours, but a jog or a rushed pace sort of as you go traveling on? Or are we just kind of being more careful that following the tracks and just knowing that eventually you'll catch up to this group that's got wagons and all this stuff?
Yeah, I think obviously I'm going at the pace everyone else is, but I'm probably going to be taking a little bit of clothing to create a bit of a headdress for Og so that he's not getting sunburn on his head and on his neck, and just has applied a little bit of water every so often, so it's just got a little bit of drip going down there, cooling the back of the neck as he's running, keeping the engine cool.
Yeah,
Engine cool.
I think Braids would definitely let Og and Sunny set the pace, right? Like, I know where we're going, but I don't have that, like, desire to get there as much as they do, probably.
Fair enough, yeah.
I can move fairly quickly. So I'm probably the most gung-ho about getting there, being my mother and father has been captured.
Fair enough, yeah. That makes sense.
We think.
Yeah.
We hope.
We hope.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm assuming you probably have a faster than 30-foot move speed.
It's 35.
Yeah, so you probably almost have to find yourself slowing down at times to allow some of the others to kind of keep up. Obviously, Rami's got her comfortable situation up above you, but you find yourself having to like kind of pause a little bit to let Braids and Sunru catch up at the pace you're trying to set. But yeah, you guys travel on. You push hard through much of the day, and as you go, can I get is someone in particular kind of being the spotter or the lookout, or anyone want to give a perception check?
Braids is like constantly checking to make sure that we're following the trail, kind of thing, right? So
yeah. I mean, you can give me survival to just ensure that you're kind of A, following the trail, B, perhaps like trying to pick the best and quickest paths through this harsh land. Is anyone, as Braids is kind of keeping an eye on the tracks, is anyone keeping an eye on, the local surroundings for dangers, or? And it could be everyone else could just roll and see. I'm assuming you guys are on high alert.
I would like to, not necessarily the overall surroundings, but like I'm walking and I'm stepping and stuff like that. So I'm kind of mostly watching the plant life and whatnot. I don't want to step in some kind of gnarly looking cactus or whatnot, or stuff like that, and make sure I don't rub up against something that's going to cause a horrible rash.
Okay.
I dated someone like that.
Could I roll nature for that?
Sure. That's fine. That works.
19.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill, the my newest tracking roll is much worse than the one from before, so we got an 11 total.
Okay. I mean, luckily the difficulty isn't super bad. You don't gain any extra, pace on them or anything. Based on the terrain, you're just kind of almost dumbly following the same path that these wagons and everything took, so you're still gonna gain on them, but not you don't.
Yeah.
Oh, if we go over this hill here, we'll gain an extra 20 minutes on them or whatever it is. Anyone else?
I was just say that I've mentioned him a few times, but this is one of the first times, if any, I've been out of town without Master. And I'm a little apprehensive about every sound in the woods. So I feel I'll be on that deer listening in my ears completely every time a new sound comes in turning. So perception, and I would love to give myself guidance as well.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it's probably going to be needed.
Roman, what are you up to?
10. 10 total.
Okay.
Romy is gonna be not looking around for danger, but looking all around. The world looks so much different up here. There aren't cactuses above your head. You're not running next to a slate of rock. You're above that slate, and you can see above that. And there's another one, and another one. There's an actual horizon. It's beautiful. Look at the distance and the vista. This is amazing out here. So she's really taking it all in, looking up and around and behind. Wow. You can see all the way back. That's incredible, So yeah, she's really taking it all in. I'll do a perception roll, and I think I'm going to give myself guidance on it as well, if that's okay.
Sure.
No, I'm not even going to bother with the guidance. I rolled a 5.
It's that bad.
I rolled a 2.
All right.
So,
you guys kind of jog on, and you just kind of making your path, doing your best as you go. As you kind of travel on, up ahead, eventually comes into sight. You can see there are 4 figures kind of traversing the open lands up ahead, and as you kind of get to a point, you can hear them go, "Oi, what's that?" And you see 2 wolves and 2 goblins kind of situated up ahead in the Badlands ahead of you. And as we get there, I think we're going to take a short break. We'll come back. We're going to aim for 15 minutes. I don't have a timer set up for the watchers, but if everyone can try to aim for about 15 minutes, grab water, use the restroom, whatever. I do want to thank the watchers that have joined us. We have a few of our regulars in chat. Rifus Penatellos. We also have a new follower, Tisphone. Thank you all for joining us. Zach, I can't say that. Zach Quaqua. I think that's as close as I'm going to get to that username. We appreciate you guys joining us. This again is our Aftermath campaign that we're starting. This is literally I wanted to do. I don't have a set world in mind fully. I've thought of some things in the world, but we're going to do a lot of exploring as we go, so that the players really just knew the town that they're in for the most part, and not too much else about the wide world. And we're going to kind of discover it together. So if you are joining us, we appreciate it. We'll do this every other week. So we're going to take a 15-minute break from right now. Then we will be back, and we will continue on the story and see what happens as they come across this small group of goblins. Welcome back, everyone. When last we left off, our party had gathered up in their town that was destroyed and ransacked by goblins, gathering some resources, taking care of some of the dead. The party sets off at a decent pace to try to catch up with these ravaging forces, and in so traveling, they come across a area where a small group, 2 goblins and 2 wolves, were kind of wandering around, and they spot them kind of nearly at the same time as the party was, though, looking for tracks and things like that. We're not necessarily observant enough to see these guys ahead of time, so they've kind of run into each other. Apparently I forgot to copy over the audio input, but now great.
Yep.
And that meant the wolves could not attack him. Braids cast friends on one of the 2 wolves, who then helped defend Braids against the other attack from the other wolf. Did a little bit of damage, knocked him down. Sunru sent a firebolt at one of the 2 goblins, and then Romy, on their turn, fired a very cool Eldritch Blast along with some Hex to take down the female goblin, and that's kind of generally where we're at. Let's see, the goblins took a shot at OG and ran back, the one that was left around anyways. And that's kind of where we're at with turn order. OG's now got their turn. So I do apologize. Hopefully for the next stream, I will have things ironed out. Thank you,
Looks
chat, for letting us know.
Looks like chat's feeling like you deserve a little bit of backup, and they're giving you advantage.
Oh, dang. Appreciate it, Penatellos. Yeah, if you're
You realize he controls the whole world, Jack. the whole world. At any point, it could just be a fucking hailstorm out there made of lava. He is the advantage. He's every letter in the word advance. He's the gaps in between the letters of the word advance. All right, you know what? It's fine.
With that, Og runs for it, screaming about where's his parents, and realizing that he's not going to actually be able to catch up to him, and the rage just wells up. And he does that little hand thing again and unleashes yet another firebolt. Does a 16 hit?
16 will hit.
And with that rage just enwraps this firebolt and basically invokes one of its special abilities that he tries not to show, which is Fire's Burn, Fire Giant. When you hit a target with attack roll and deal damage to it, you can deal an extra 1d10 fire damage to it.
Nice.
So my damage now is 2d10.
Cool.
How can I do this with critical? Maybe? Yes, okay. That works. For a total of 12 points of damage.
Alright, and with that, this bolt slams into this goblin, and it sinks to the ground. What does it look like as you incinerate this goblin?
Not realizing what he's done, it just, like I said, the rage just wells up, something that he tries to fight with every single day, and his mother keeps on telling him that believe in his gadgets, believe in distractions, and he doesn't have his mother right now. He doesn't have his family, and it just this raw energy unleashes onto this goblin as it just burns him alive like Ghost Rider. And he screams and just falls over dead in just this smoldering pile of ash.
Nice. Following that, in his own little fight over there, Braids, what would you like to do?
I think we're gonna. All that's basically left are these two wolves,
Yep.
and one of them is our friend,
Yep.
and the other one just got punked by his friend. So we're gonna cast our second spell,
Okay.
and we're gonna cast Speak with Animals. And Braids is going to look down at the wolf that is laying prone on the ground and just kind of say, Braids is going to try and communicate the situation, basically. It's, however it would come across to the wolf, they'll be trying to explain that they are the alpha now, as this is the natural order of things, right? Like, trying to get that across.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how I would say that.
I am the captain now.
Yeah, very much.
Look at me. Look at me.
at me.
Look at me.
at me.
And just
I
try
am the
and
captain now.
cow them with that, right? Like, animals are very survival based. It'll know its place, kind of thing, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it's a very unnatural thing for Braid. So it's like, know your role. I think.
Nice. All right. So I need to make a roll for it.
I mean,
It's just
I
just
I
kind
think
of
I would
your way.
like charisma roll. Yeah.
Charisma, like an intimidation roll, or
Yeah. Sure, we'll go with that. Yep. Yeah, that's gonna be a 1. Not a natural 1, but a 1.
all right.
Look
well,
at me. Look at you're the captain. I mean, we're captains together on the ship of friendship. Hello?
Yes.
It's getting fuzzy.
The I rolled a charisma check for the wolf, and though I beat you only by 2, it still beat you. I rolled a 5. He's got a -2 on charisma, but still better than your 1. So that's where we're at.
Wolf pulls out a pack of Gauloises and lights one skinny cigarette, lights and goes, I did not think so. You're the captain of mine.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. The wolf will stand back up, and I guess he's gonna attempt to attack you still. So let's see where he's at. Sanctuary's still in effect, though, right?
Let me look real quick. It should be.
I have not made an
Yeah.
attack.
Oh, yeah. Duration 1 minute.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So with the 3, he's still not gonna be able to attack you, but he does know that his buddy attacked him, so he will turn and attempt to hit his friend, and he will for 8 points of damage. Rending a massive cut, dragging him to the ground. So while this one is now not prone, one will be. But then he's going to get up and attack back. So we're just going to have a little wolf on wolf action here.
This is what's bringing down our lupine community today. It's wolf and wolf violence. No one wins if
It's
everyone
true.
says they're the alpha.
I'm pretty sure we win.
You know who wins? The white man. That's who wins.
Oh, gosh. All right.
Oh, we're good today, guys. We can wrap it up.
Yeah,
We're done.
with
we're
that
good.
one.
We're good. We're good. I'll see you guys later. All right. Thanks very much. Thanks very much.
The remaining wolves, they both look really hurt. The one in the middle is just barely clinging on, just bleeding and gushing blood, but is still holding on. Sunny,
Did the one in the middle get hit by the other one?
yeah, so it is prone now.
Yeah.
Sunny, you are up. There's 2 wolves that seem to have attacked each other more than anything. One of them just got dragged to the ground by the other.
I will continue what I was doing and hop around here, hoping to get line of sight at the first wolf on the ground, like laying down.
Yeah, he's laying down, so it will be disadvantage for ranged attacks.
Yeah, I'll still try it on that one. Why not? Disadvantage roll. Oh, we're on nat 20 and a 17, so 23 total.
Good lord. Yeah. Go ahead
Just a
and
damage.
roll your damage, I guess.
5 fire damage on the
5 fire damage. What does it look like as this wolf is burnt up?
It's one of those classic fireball hits. The whole body's engulfed as the fur catches fire. Small little fireball, and that weird smell of burnt hair afterwards that lingers for a second.
Yep. Being someone who has, of course, never burnt his hair on the stove or anything, I may or may not know that scent. Romy, you're up.
We've all sparked and
Yeah, it's done something silly.
I'm going to call out nervously and say, "Are we keeping the doggo?"
Is friendly.
it might be able to lead us.
Okay, then I'm going to hold an action.
Okay.
If the doggo makes a move towards Sunny or Braids in a violent manner, I'm going to absolutely Eldritch Blast them. I will bonus action move my hex onto that wolf just in case.
Just in case, alright.
As I've got a baleful eye on it, I'm like, you better not hurt these people. So that'll be me holding my action.
Alright. Is anyone going to make a hostile action towards this dog?
No.
No.
That's a-
Alright. How long does your friendship with this...
24 hours.
Okay, yeah. So for sure, for now, this wolf is totally chill with you. Is very wounded, hurt and bleeding and limping along, but it's just,
But I can talk to it.
Yep. So yeah.
For the next 5-10 minutes.
So with that,
And
you guys are out of combat. So we're gonna.
I think seeing what has happened, seeing that the only way to even remotely try to find his family is through this wolf that Braids has clearly got a hold of. I think if he can, Og is going to try to reach down ever so slightly, looking at Braids to give him the go-ahead and cast Cure Wounds on the wolf.
Okay.
Braids will just kind of like kneel next to the dog and pet its head and like, good boy.
I'm gonna tap the back of Braids' head and give him a soft guidance as he's in this process. Let him take the lead with this puppy.
And I just look at the group and just kind of, as I cast the spell, after I do, I was like, I do not know what came over me. And I give 13 hit points to the wolf.
Okay. The wolf is now looking perfect. Looking right good.
It's
Just
so much.
Disintegrated that goblin.
Yes, I saw the other goblin took a nasty hit as well from something.
Yes, I saw that as well.
Do you,
Well,
Braids, do you know that this wolf will lead us?
Where is the rest of your pack?
Back has moved on. We left to keep guard on back.
I will bring you to your pack. Can you lead me?
Yes, can lead.
Good. Yeah. He'll lead us there.
Nods in agreement.
so when you were speaking with the wolf, just so I can visualize it, were you using Speak of Animals?
Mm-hmm.
Do you then speak dog or do you just open your mouth and like binary code comes out?
The spell doesn't say, so I think that I don't know.
I'm cool with you flavoring it however you want. Like, it could be that they just understand what you're saying.
I think that's how it would work with Braids, because Braids, they still don't really understand how natural things work, so they just know that if they do these things, they can make it understand.
Just seeing if we understood
Oh yeah, you
the
guys.
side of the conversation. That was
Yeah.
all. Or if you've just
No,
looked and went,
perfect.
yeah, you can. Okay.
Perhaps
Do
you're
you...
able to speak and add 2 different tones, like a tone that we can hear and an ultra high frequency that the dog can hear.
Do we know how far ahead his pack is? How many? I don't want to bump into them and get a surprise.
There's enough to sack the town, but I can try. Turn to the wolf. And how large is pack? How many?
By pack, you mean wolves? You mean other things?
Both.
Wolves, there's maybe 10. Others, probably about 50.
Okay. There's 10 more wolves
Oh, that's fine.
and 50 others.
Cool.
That is a lot.
That is a lot.
See me cower slightly behind Romy.
All point to the bodies. All goblins.
Are the others all like those two?
No, not all. Some bigger.
No, those ones are dead.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, that would be the-
What are you, an idiot? Come on, man, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, so Braids will kind of stand up and be like, they said some are the hobgoblins, or
Okay.
so even worse.
Maybe orcs with them too.
Well, we tried our best.
Did we?
I am not abandoning my family.
That's a point. I'll turn to Braids. And does this wolf know if they took any captives? And if they're still alive? Like,
Did the others bring more like them around?
Others like them? Green skin,
Yeah.
red skin?
I point to, like, Romy. That skin.
Ah,
the most normal looking one of us.
new
She goes into
friends.
full assistant mode.
And like, to, like, that guy. And pointed, Og.
Yes. Several, yes. Brought new people. Tied with
They have-
ropes.
Yeah. They have tied up a bunch of people. Several is the number I got.
We don't have to kill everyone. We just need to free them.
Agreed. We know they're alive.
I think we should find them and then figure out the situation first from there.
I like that. Yes, let's do that, Briggs.
If they are too many and too well protected, we can get help. But if we can get a distraction and free so the people, it might even our numbers out.
Also, we can figure out what they're doing with them. If they are just selling them as slaves, then we have time. But if they are like eating them for food, then we won't have time to find others.
Turn back to the wolf and what do they feed you?
Meat.
From where?
Various. Today, from people. They.
From them, and I point to Romy.
Yes. Is it food time?
No.
Lick that lip.
You're a good puppy, yes you. Fuck you.
I will choose not to. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Romy,
What did he say?
don't hang out with the dog.
But why?
Where do you think they get the food to feed the animals?
The store?
Yes, but not from the shelves.
From the cellar?
Yes. As in the person that sells the goods, not the place where you keep things.
They eat the person? Bad puppy. And I slap it on the
No.
nose.
Oh, shit. Well, Bill, this is where you get to decide whether that's an attack or not. Because an attack breaks the spell.
Slap on the face.
I will make this very clear. If I hit someone with an unarmed hit, I do 0 damage.
Yep. Well, considering
You're
there is
silent.
a introduce an obstacle to this game, I think
And that obstacle is my intelligence, apparently. Not roaming, is
This
mine.
this newly fully healed wolf.
yeah,
Ah, shit.
Romy, does a 15 hit you?
I will remind you about the time I said I had a prepared action.
Yeah. If it
But
moved
yeah, 15.
threatening at Braids or at,
Are we
Sunday.
cashing in the obstacle now?
Yeah, we're gonna catch
Okay.
him now,
Yeah,
so.
apparently.
It is officially gone now.
Uh,
And
15
and to let you know, heads up, the wolf has advantage. By the way,
All right.
so just let me know when you're ready for it.
15 hits.
All right. That's the lowest roll I could roll on that. So 3 points of damage, and you're
Oh
prone.
my gosh. Oh, well, you know what? As I lie underneath this giant uppers, I am gonna just hex, and then I'm gonna Eldritch Blast right through its whole body.
Go for it. It is a disadvantage roll because you are within 5 feet of your target.
Okay, so the first one's a 24.
Okay.
The second one is a 17.
Well, that will hit.
And then it's going to take. I rolled a 1 on my Eldritch Blast.
What about the hex?
And then my hex on top of that.
Another one.
Don't
Let's
you
see.
bring that voodoo here, Ricky Bobby.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
That's a 4. That's 5.
All right, 5 damage to the newly healed wolf. Sonny, did you want to react as you see the wolf snap off at Roman?
I will move to the side and prepare an action to fireball when I see Braids attack it. If Braids attack it. I don't know if he plans to do anything else with this wolf.
Og, what would you like to do?
No! We need him! And I reach down and try to grapple the wolf.
Okay.
So target must succeed on a strength/dex. If choose, I must choose naturally strength. Saving throw. So 8 plus proficiency bonus, which is 2 plus my strength. So he needs a 14 or higher.
Okay. You
For
rolled
me.
a 20. So you
Okay, that's good.
snake out of your attempted grasp.
Okay.
You ever tried to hold a dog when you're trying to cut its nails? That's what you
Yeah.
just went.
Yeah. Braids.
So I have. Okay, I need to. So I have 2 weapon fighting.
Yeah, but I think your grapple does not count. You have to do
It does
an
not
attack
count. Okay, that's
with,
what I was wondering
one
if it
weapon
was.
to be able to attack.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So that's what I need to know.
Yep, no problem. Braids is up.
I have a spear. I will use my spear.
Okay.
Please specify how you're using that spear.
I'm stabbing
Yeah.
the wolf.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
we all thought that.
I roll a
21.
natural 1.
No. Apparently, I very much wanted to stab the wolf.
21
I
will
did.
hit. A natural 1. Let me think. We've got. You're firing.
It's for a 7 total, if that changes.
Can you roll a d4?
Yeah, sure.
Oh no! Oh lord!
I will
Well,
deal 4 points of damage.
Okay.
I rolled another 1.
All right.
Oh no!
Braids being the first one in line there. How much damage do you do to Braids?
7.
Uno.
1 damage to
Oh,
Braids
what?
from fire damage.
Oh, do you want me to roll for damage, or was that D4 for the damage? And
That was who you hit, yeah, with your firebolt.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's grouped up together.
it-
We have.
Then it's a
shots,
5
so
on fire damage on Braids.
5 damage to Braids. The wolf is looking rough.
So is everybody.
Yeah, but at this level, it doesn't take much for things to go the other way. The wolf will. I think he's
He'd focus on me,
More.
surely.
well, just got
Oh shit.
stabbed by braids. I think he's gonna
Oh,
try
that
for
is
braids.
That makes sense.
That's
They
just
probably
a little
realizes that I was manipulating him.
Yeah. 16 though. I don't think it's for
No.
your armor. So yeah, he attempts to attack you, but is unable to do any damage.
The shield gets in the way.
Those damn shields.
Always.
Sonny.
Back on me.
Yeah, just going by the old initiative. I let.
Okay, then
Romy kinda
I
attack
will
first, 'cause
take a step to the side, look at Braids quickly, and then actually try and attack this time for a 21 to hit.
Okay, that will hit.
9 fire damage.
Yeah, right. And you burn this puppy up.
Mm. I'm getting better.
Yes. Yes, you are.
It's just like the scorch mark on the side of
Yeah,
your
I sort of hop over and I start wiping scorch marks off.
I'm covered in blood and viscera.
I didn't see you behind him.
There's blood all over me, and I'm underneath it. As the spear had gone into it, it got burnt and bits of it fell onto me. I just get up and I look like a Temu carry. I'm just like, all right. I look up and I look down and look up and I go, thanks.
Well, we
Maybe
know.
don't hit animals. Maybe.
She opens her mouth and then she closes her mouth. She nods and she goes, yes, you're right, Braids. That is my fault.
No fault, just different. Right?
She wipes herself down, and as she wipes herself down, she goes clean and dry. Everything gets smoothed out, and it just looks like it's freshly pressed and ironed. And she goes, "Ah, okay."
So the wolf was going to lead us to.
We can still follow the tracks. 50 goblins are going to leave easy tracks to follow. They
True.
probably think they killed everybody anyways, so
They're not going to cover their tracks.
we will find your family.
Do not hit animals again. And
Yes,
Og walks off to go get his spear.
As they both say that, you just see me looking at you going, being
she
the
like
only animal in the party.
she's nodding, like, yeah, like, all right. One of you said it, like, two of you is excessive. 3 is straight up mansplaining. Okay, I get it.
It's like when you get in trouble with your mom and she just won't drop the subject. You're like, yeah, I got it the first 4 times you said it. You know?
Don't hit animals. Now, this is the reason why you don't hit animals. Okay, but this, seriously, as an animal, I think I need to let you know.
This is not okay.
I guess I'm gonna try and look for tracks, and while I'm getting ready to do that, I say maybe look at what the goblins have.
I trundle over to the female goblin, as I feel like I have the only one to have the right to search that particular body. And I'll go through that.
I was going to say, I'll come and help you and assist.
I'll go to the one that I incinerated.
And
I'm saying that, but really the real reason is I want to actually take a look at the damage that I did, just to see what did I do, you know?
and I got a 14 on the survival check, Bill.
Okay.
13 on investigation for my goblin.
Okay.
Are you giving me the help action there? Tony?
If I'm able to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
So nice of you.
Thank you.
Hey, guess what? I rolled 2 8s. Welcome. That's 7.
You are
7.
drawn in by this damage that you have caused. This just kind of destroyed goblin, armor rent and torn. You find it hard to kind of look past that and find anything of value or reason on it. Og, as you want to search this goblin, you find like crude weaponry. They have this like crude scimitar. The goblin make essentially though that's more a piece of like scrap metal that they took from something and sharpened down and like tied a handle onto it than like you're a forger. You would never put this out in the field. It's a weapon, but it's got spots of rust and stuff. It's probably not worth a lot, and a like decently enough made but still crude short bow with a quiver of probably about 15 arrows that were all look again like goblin make. You do find on him about 3 silver and 5 copper pieces, like in a little pouch they had tucked up underneath the armor that wasn't incinerated.
And 5 copper.
Yeah.
I take the bow and arrow and look over at Romney.
Adding letters into this name. Who's Romney?
Am I missed?
Romney. And just
Romy. As in Rome and then E. Romy.
Walk over to Romy.
Hey.
Here.
What?
This is something you can possibly use while riding on my back.
What do you give me?
Give you and I hand you the short bow with the 15 arrows.
So I take the long bow and I look at it and I go, okay, thank you. I definitely know how to use this.
Brave soul to hand someone a bow and arrow who's riding on your back.
Just gonna roll deception real quick. 22.
Very
you guys
believable.
Have no idea.
You are the best archer ever.
Yeah, he gave it to the only person in the party who could have used that to the best effect.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right. With the 14 survival, again, it's not that hard to find. You were generally following the tracks anyways, but you're able to kind of pick them back up and start back out. Start heading off in the direction. You can see kind of like in the distance there's like another plateau out there. They seem to be generally leading towards this kind of plateau in the middle of this broken land. It's probably getting into like evening. The sun's starting to set. What would you guys like to do?
I personally have no dark vision, so I will then start producing dancing lights to cantrip to give myself some vision, and if anybody else needs it, I can obviously float one over your way. It's getting quite dark, guys, and I'm not the best when I can't see.
I'm getting tired anyway. I'm wounded by arrows.
We should rest. They will have to rest as well. It's not like they'll gain ground.
Okay.
Can you use that bow, Romy?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because if not, I have an idea.
I take the bow and I knock at an arrow and I look carefully through where the arrow is, and I pull that back and I go, see that tree? See that tree? Watch this. And I fire one off at the tree in the near distance.
Take advantage just because you were so deceptive to start with.
Okay, so with advantage, I got. Yeah, it goes sailing, flying over the top.
Do you have dark vision?
I do. I watch it go.
No.
Oh.
Can you see in the dark?
Who, me? No, yeah. I can't see in the dark.
Can you give me a perception check with disadvantage?
7.
Okay. So you see Romy fire the arrow, and you see it fly out. And it kind of just goes into the dark.
Well, that's a start.
I literally go flying up, and I just
shoot
down.
a tree?
No, I had a whole tree to aim at. It wasn't moving because it's a tree, and I missed it.
It's all right.
Can we stop attacking nature?
I dropped the short bow and arrows into the Ogsand.
I'll
Are we stopping for the night?
Yes.
I'll pick him. I'll pick him up
Okay.
and just take him off my little corner of where we're stopping at.
Fine. I will, wherever we stop, beckon fire, creating a thin cloud of harmless embers of colored scented smoke. And there's going to be a dull yellow. And then I'll use that to light a torch. And I'll use that to start a fire. And then as I've done that, I'll then beckon water, bring that down. And I bring that to an open one of my cups that I have from my picnic grouping, and I will hand the cup of water to Sunny and go, "You got 1 minute to drink this." And then I'll do it again, and I'll bring another bit of cold water down, and I'll hand it out to Og, and I'll do the same thing for Braids, and I'll do lastly for myself.
I don't need water.
Okay, I hand it back to Og, and I just wash it into his wound a little bit, and I take my healer's kit and I place it over the top, and I cast mending to fix the tear from where the arrow had rent his clothing.
All right.
Thank you, Rami. I have an idea. I will work on it. What I'm going to work on is I'm going to try to take that short bow and the scrap metal that I have, and I basically want to convert that over to a crossbow.
Okay.
So you can make me a saddle. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, so you can
Priorities, bro. Jeez.
It's gonna make a little hat that you can put the crossbow on, so that you can use it as a.
It's got a little turret.
Sorry, couldn't resist. I think with that, as the fire gets set, you guys start settling down for your evening of rest and recuperation. Og kind of goes off and starts fiddling around with this crude goblin bow. I think we'll call it for the day. I think it'll be a good spot to kind of take back up going through the night, and then what little things you want to do to prep, and then we'll continue on searching mainly for Og's family along with the other survivors of the town. And thank you everyone for joining us, making it interesting. This was session 1, still trying to find our way, especially apparently on the streaming side of things. I'm going to try to get Dave all set up with everything I designed for the stream so that he can run things and I can just focus on running a game and not hopefully have all these technical issues. But so it should be 2 weeks from today, which would be early February. Let me see what that means.
The 3rd.
The 3rd.
February 3rd. Thank you, people who can pull things up faster than me. So that's the aim. If anything changes, then keep watch on our social. We'll try to put that out. Dave, are we running a game? When's the next game you're running for us?
As far as I know, me being deathly ill for the past almost 2 months now, in and out, which is why we haven't been streaming as often as we would have liked to have done it. If our power don't go out here in Houston, Texas, because we're having an Arctic blast, heaven forbid,
Sounds fun.
I know, fun
Sounds
stuff.
like a blast.
I know. Welcome to, government and, electricity. But cross our fingers. If everything stays on, then Wednesday night, we're going to do another episode of Astroplex, the Spire and the Sprawl, Bill and my own game creation, basically. So hopefully, with snow and all that other fun stuff, that we have a game that night. If not, then you'll know exactly what happened and why I am sitting in the dark, freezing my butt off. So, other than that,
so that should be Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m.
Yep.
Eastern. Extrapolate. Sorry for the UK fans joining us and playing with us. Dawson, you stream, so why don't you tell
I
them
do, yeah.
where and what and all that stuff and when?
We stream over at twitch.tv/crunchaxe. That's crunch as in to crunch something, and axe as in to hit things with a wood-splitting implement. Yeah, variety streamer, mostly focused on Overwatch and Marvel Rivals right now, but I've been doing a bunch of other stuff, Dragon Age right now. Lots of fun. If you have time, I stream basically every day of the week except for Wednesdays right now, and I'm always guaranteed to be on from at least 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern PST. Or Western PST. Yeah,
Pacific.
not Eastern. Look, I'm smart.
Yeah, no, it's good, and we're getting you up on the other side of the day to play D&D.
Yeah.
So, thank you everyone for joining us. I hopefully by the time we're here again, I'll have a cool intro video, a cool outro video, but I don't. So, not today. So we're just
Imagine
gonna
the graphics, guys.
kind of go to black. Yeah. Anyways,
We'll just
we
make
love you.
hand signals.
Peace, and we're out.